Ladies and gentlemen, it's about time we have to have an honest conversation about 105.3 The Fan and the way they've been interviewing Jerry and Stephen Jones. Now, they are seen as the hallmark, right, of Dallas Cowboys media and the way they're able to have these opinions, speak on the Cowboys, have these interviews that a lot of people listen to, and we listen to all the quote, well, not listen, but also read the quotes on Twitter and everywhere else. We hear all about it. And the biggest issue I have is that they don't go far enough with their line of questioning. Now, I'm going to get into a couple of the things momentarily, but before we do, I want you, if you can, to like this video, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell, and comment down below on how you feel about 105.3 The Fan. Now, for me, I understand that these individuals do this for a living to a certain extent, and I'm not saying they're fully trash at what they do, because they do give some honest opinions on the Cowboys. I have seen videos and, hearing some radio broadcasts where they have expressed their frustrations with the Cowboys organization. But I want to play you a clip from Sean, the individual over at 105.3 The Fan, that really rubbed me the wrong way because I feel like it's a load of crap. So have a listen for yourself. We'll come back and discuss.
Yes, they don't like to say that it's Jerry Jones on the Fan. They like to say that it's the Jerry Jones Show, as if that's to suggest that he's in control of what you, or today, the other fellas, that he somehow dictates to you, and that makes it softer, and that makes it a nice, cushy, big pillow for Jerry to land in. Sean Sharif, 105.3 The Fan, go.
Well, number one, in the 11 years that I've been doing this, I think there's been 2 or 3 times where the Cowboys asked us not to ask about something specific. And normally those times have to do with a repeat topic. So like with the anthem, right? We asked for like the first 3 weeks, and then they're like, hey, can we maybe give it a rest this week? I don't take offense to that. If they told me not to ask about something that had to be asked the first time, I would ask it, and consequences be damned. And Jerry Jones deserves a lot of credit for that. I worked in D.C. Dan Snyder doesn't allow it. I worked in Kansas City. I was only there for a year, but I have a hard time imagining that the Chiefs, or I know the Royals weren't cool with me. George Brett tried to get me fired, true story. But Jerry Jones, and part of that is Jerry's blessing and curse. We were at the media party when Jerry talks about how he gets and loves and understands how the media works. What he did last week with McCarthy, in my opinion, was to keep the Cowboys in the news as a topic. That's part of Jerry's genius. That's great for me and you in the media. That is awful. Well, it's not awful, but it's not the best way to run your football team. No. Like, let's have a sexy topic out there and make our coach uncomfortable. That's not the best way to run your football team. But look, this is as simple as I can say it. If anybody listens to our show, our station, and doesn't think that we criticize or kill the Cowboys, you are a moron. You have been brainwashed by the other radio station that runs these stupid-ass promos, or someone else that just wants to believe something that's not reality. Now, people get mad with the way we interview Jerry sometimes, or Jason for 10 years. We ask the question that has to be asked. When they give the generic media answer, my rule a lot of times is I'm going to go with one more follow-up. If they still want to dodge it or they don't want to play ball, I move on to the next thing. All these freaking tough guys on social media who think that they would be in my chair or RJ or KNC's or G-Bags and say, well, that's a lie, you dumb motherfucker. I can curse on this, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lie. You're a piece of crap. Why don't you just give it on over? You're freaking stupid. You have to maintain a level of respect and a relationship if you want to continue to have Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy on your show. Now, if you don't and you want to lose that, then go ahead, cuss them up and down after they answer your question the way that you don't like it to be answered. Or on your second follow-up, they don't want to play ball. Go ahead, be a tough guy. You can go home and feel good about yourself, and Jerry and McCarthy will be on with somebody else.
All right,
The fact of the matter is that, yeah, you can express your opinions on the Cowboys like I do here, like you guys do on the radio, and all that other stuff. But the biggest thing is I understand that there is a level of professionalism that needs to be had. I'm not saying you have to go curse Jerry or Steven out because they suck at their job or whatever the case may be, whatever your opinion may be. My problem is there isn't enough pushback, right? Like, if it were me in this instance, and I know I hate to play the whole argument of anecdotal stuff and this, that, and the third, but if I'm asking Stephen Jones a question on how he thinks that the roster should be built, and he gives the generic answer of, oh, well, at the end of the day, there's only so much, like the stuff we keep hearing every single year because there's no pushback. The next thing is, okay, you say you want to do a follow-up question. All right, Stephen, let's just be real, and I want to ask you this follow-up question if you don't mind. The fact is that the way that you've been conducting yourself hasn't resulted in any postseason success. The team continuously fails to achieve anything in the postseason or have consistent success even in the regular season, right? Not necessarily saying that the teams are trash, but there's a problem there. So, as one of the main components to helping building this team and how you tout about all this cap space, there is a certain logic and reasoning to believe that your way doesn't work. But still, and I ask you this, why do you firmly believe that this is the way to go about it when you have a blueprint that has led to many teams winning championships? There you go. I understand that I gave a long diatribe of an explanation and answer, but the fact is you have to ask these hard-hitting questions. You, as the media, right? It is the media's responsibility to hold these people accountable. I'm not trying to sit here and say that they are going to be responsible for fixing the Cowboys. My issue is, and I've always said this, is they go way too light on him, right? Like, I've seen other guys on Fox, local Fox Sports, NBC, they've given harder hitting questions than you guys. I saw a guy a couple months ago, we talked about it, where he pressed Jerry on him saying, listen, I am going to induct, or the Cowboys are going to induct Jimmy Johnson into the Ring of Honor, and he still hasn't held to that commitment. But he pressed him on him, right? That is something that I can respect. And then you had other guys going out there talking about it as well. You guys, on the other hand, just have your hands on your ass and don't do anything to remotely ask questions, right? That can, get us something. I'm not asking, right, for them to answer everything. I'm asking for you guys to press them professionally. Don't play grab ass and act like, oh, well, if we ask them these things, they're not going to come back. You know what? Then stop being a bunch of pansies and ask them honest questions. I'm not, and I repeat, because I feel like so many people are dense in this world. I'm not asking, and no one is asking, right, that hold the same position that I do, to have every single question answered. My point is that challenge them on their viewpoints, which you don't do. I have seen people on 105.3 The Fan, not you, Sean, I don't even think RJ either, that have pressed Jerry and Steven. I remember back in 2019, I forget who it was, maybe it was you, I don't know, because it's been that long, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, where they pressed Jerry on that, on, hey, are you embarrassed for where this organization is right now? And he's like, oh, well, watch your tone. Him getting all mad like a petulant child, because that's an honest to God question. Are you embarrassed for the product that you put out there for your fans to watch? You see what I mean? And then let me pull up the tweets. Like, and again, these guys are, are just reporters just saying what's been, So you ask Jerry all these questions about, oh, how do you feel about people always talking about the Cowboys? Or what is there to be optimistic about the season? What do you see in these players? Like, stop with the bullshit, man. Seriously. And then Jerry gives these incoherent answers and these Jerry-isms that don't make sense. They don't. And what's worse is, Jerry's one thing, because listen, I gotta keep this a buck with you guys. Jerry's the owner. His job is to boost revenue for the Cowboys. And the problem is he's also the GM, so that comes into that direct correlation there. But Steven, who a lot of us, including myself, believe that he's the main proponent of building the team, right? They just ask him softball questions. Oh, how do you feel about doing this? How do you feel about doing that? What's the plan? Do you like where we're... Stop with the bullshit. Ask them, why is it that your method hasn't worked? They don't have to answer. My point is that if you ask them these questions and we press them on it, which they listen to the radio. So don't give me this bullshit excuse about, oh, well, we can't ask them these questions, because they listen in to what you have to say. And you know that. They probably watch some of these YouTube channels. Probably not mine, but they listen in. They love the whole talk of Cowboys. And you think that they're not going to sit back and be like, you know, hey, those guys on 105.3 The Fan are disagreeing with how we build the team. You know, because if that was the case, they would have dropped you guys, you know, they would have dropped doing any interviews with you guys. So stop putting up this veil of, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that, because you look like a bunch of wimps. Okay? And that's the biggest thing, is that I'm sick and tired of this. And honestly, probably Jerry and Steven might respect you for that shit. For all I know. I can't answer that. You know, you can't knock it until you try it. The age-old saying. So how about you ask some harder-hitting questions next time, and maybe, just maybe, we would be a little bit more satisfactory than the bullshit you guys put out over at 105.3 The Fan. You know, I'm going to be real, too. You know, when Jeff Kavanaugh elected to leave and come onto the YouTube scene, you know, it's awesome seeing him here, and honestly, he was one of the main reasons why I watched 105.3 The Fan, and him, you know, seeing Brian Broaddus on there and all this other stuff. But stop kowtowing to this shit, and I'm sick and tired of all the people that are, like, letting this happen. We need to call it out like we see it, and I hope you guys share this, like it, and so we get better engagement, because I want everybody to understand that 105.3 The Fan is just Jones propaganda at this point when it comes to the interviews. And then they're all, listen, they you know, they don't even walk the walk. They are all talk, they don't bite, all that other crap. So that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, guys.